Good evening and welcome to another episode of A Closer Look. In this episode, we bring to you the EU Straight PNG program and the work they do in provinces, especially in the East and West CIPIC provinces. This program is funded by the European Union and has been supporting the agriculture sector in the two provinces since 2019.
The three main sectors that EU Straight PNG program is working on are fisheries, vanilla and cocoa, and the overall objective of the program is to make sure that the rural households improve their livelihood through agribusiness. The program took a long consultation process with national government bodies, provincial government bodies, and consultation with local level stakeholders. This program is being implemented as a United Nations joint program under the leadership of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in partnership with the International Labour Organization, International Telecommunication Union, United Nations Capital Development Fund, and United Nations Development Program. Two major components were identified under the program includes value chain development and value chain enablers. This was explained by the program coordinator for EU Straight PNG.
Three very important value chains identified are the cocoa value chain, the vanilla value chain, and the fisheries value chain. I will not get into the details of each because each, for example, fisheries has sub-chains. You have riverine fisheries, you have aquaculture, you have coastal fisheries. There are a lot more details. But these are the three main value chains. So development of these value chains to really increase production, productivity, and marketing and business was one component. Then you have the second component of the program. We call it value chain enablers. These are complementary interventions that are required to ensure that the value chains are well developed. This includes, number one, rural infrastructure, roads. As you all know, nothing happens if you don't have means of transport. Whatever you produce may not be sold. You may not be able to get the inputs you need for production. So road infrastructure is fundamental to any transformation of any growth, economic and social. We'll come to some of the points a bit later. The second element of the value chain enablers is the rural financial inclusion. We call it financial inclusion. Farmers need a lot of inputs. On the component one, they get the skill, knowledge, and systems, organizational support to produce cocoa, to market, etc. But on the second component, with what we call financial inclusion, it allows them to access appropriate financial products. And this component is mainly led by the UNCDF, United Nations Capital Development Fund. You may have observed, in some of your visits, how we are working with Mama Bank and, what are the access points that are being established. People increasingly, opening accounts now. We have over 80,000 accounts, new accounts opened. So the idea is people are financially included. Over time, they will be able to access the financial products they need to improve the value chains. Remember, this is enabler intervention.
He stated that they also have another rural infrastructure is renewable energy that is mainly led by UNDP, and the main focus is the provision of solar power system. A total of 6 sites have been installed with solar power system, especially in health centers and schools.
And the last part of the enabling environment is policy. As you know, programs and projects can't go this far. They are bound by time and resources. For example, we only operate in East and West CIPIC directly. We have some interventions at the national level. Policy. This is where one of the enabling intervention is policy. We produce based on the interventions we have here based on international experience of the United Nations family, FAO, UNDP, UNCDF, ILO, ITU. We bring here some of international best practices to advise the government of Papua New Guinea on areas such as e-agriculture, for example. There is a strategy was developed for East Sepik and West Sepik. Renewable energy. UNDP is working with the national institutions dealing with climate change. And FAO, we also work on a number of areas regarding the value chain. So policy is one of the fundamental enabling components when projects come to an end.
Yusuf stated that their interventions align with 5 pillars of the PNG's 2050 vision.
I must say that in doing all this, please, I take it that it is not the UN agencies, FAO, ILO, UNCDF doing this. This work is being done by stakeholders. The government of Papua New Guinea owns the interventions. Our role as United Nations family is to contribute to the mandate of the various level players, national, provincial, district, and even LLGs to deliver their mandates. Their mandate, as you know, is already stipulated in the vision in the 2050 plan.
There are plans to construct 15 roads in rural areas in which 11 roads are in the process of construction. EU's trade program has been supporting the agriculture sector in the East and West Sepik provinces for more than 3 years now, and they have achieved 50% of the targets. The Monitoring and Evaluation Officer of EU's Trade PNG confirmed that they are on the right track to achieve their target set for 5-year program, which will end in 2024.
Like in cocoa, we have 8 outputs, and if you just take an average, we already achieve more than 50%, in fact, not less than. And in vanilla, we are almost achieved 60% of our targets. In fisheries, we are a little bit behind, but because of these procurement things, but now we are in very good shape to implement or achieve our targets, what we set. But overall achievement in fishery sector is 30%, not more than that. But we are right now in a very good shape. And if we go, as I already discussed about the value chain, but if we discuss about the enabling environment components, in the policy outputs we already achieved. We have approved version of e-agriculture strategy. We developed a draft of GI strategy. We are in the process of developing women in agriculture strategy. So everything is going into the right direction. And if we talk about the financial inclusion thing, against the target of 100,000 accounts, we already achieved 80,000 accounts, 82,000 something.
This 5-year project was funded by the European Union at a total cost of $89 million.
We take a quick break, and when we return, we take a look at the benefits of this EU's Trade PNG program. Welcome back to a closer look. The fisheries, cocoa and vanilla farmers in the remote parts of the East and West Sepik provinces are greatly benefiting from this EU's Trade PNG program in terms of infrastructure, rural financial inclusion, and the installation of solar power in their communities.
Under the EU's Trade PNG program, there are 5 joint programs that aims to provide the basic services that farmers in the remote areas needed to sustain their daily living. The International Labour Organization, among the 5 joint programs, is focusing on infrastructure by building 15 roads that aim to provide accessibility for farmers to transport their goods to the markets. The site engineer of International Labour Organization Serulo Waranaka explained that the main aim of this program is to enable farmers, especially the cocoa and vanilla farmers, to bring their products to the markets. The road users will have access to this road to go to school, markets, hospital and town. A farmer from Yellow Village of Nuku district of Sandaun province, Joshua Wyatt, stated that since the EU Straight program started in 2019, it has supported them and brought a lot of changes to their daily lives.
Lo appreciate him straight PNG lo support blong and big plat through when we plan up lo looking longen where senis mi blai kisim longen sabe mi blai kisim money lo support lo straight mi blai put him lo side lo school fee mi blai okay mol nar liklik work lo support him life mi blai senis him house mi blai baim kapa now mi blai building new plat church out lo benefit lo straight na same time also mi blai kisim support lo work lo kakao mi blai baim car tu one plan nu car mi blai baim longen through lo support lo straight PNG.
The people who lived at the Tumleo island of Aitape were also trained by the officers from the Straight program on marine sustainability and climate change. A fisherman from the island confirmed that the training has helped them a lot on the fishing technology and preservation methods for future generations.
Several wave long, keeping space long of fish. Well, becoming a size program like this. Maybe just walk like. No matter big or small, maybe just catch him the solar. Carrying go to market or the fridge or this black eye. But time maybe like I'm fisheries training now. And now maybe like him wise long. Look out the fish, na large fish come for sizes long. I don't like catch him. Na two, as I'm talking to go finish. Maybe like try him long. Larim or fish harel island mibla alwe must start and mibla by go out. Like some people fish station outside.
The International Telecommunication Union under the EU Straight PNG program has established a new resource center at the St. Ignatius Secondary School in Aitape, Sandaun province. With this resource center being established, the school principal is confident that it will greatly help not only the 800 plus students but the local farmers as well.
One of the skills that many of our past students lack is computing skills. All our former students still maintain their connection with us, not only the admin but all teachers. And we have experienced many of our former students saying that they are behind computational skills in the first year and second year in universities and other colleges. So I am so with this computers delivered to the school, it will create many hands-on from the students. So that's one of the benefits if we see this establishment. The next is about our local farmers here. If this center will be open to the local farmers, and it's not only for the gains of the school, but for the gains of the district and even the province too. So, but in terms of learning, this will greatly help.
Under the EU Straight program, the United Nations Capital Development Fund has partnered with 3 of the major microbanks to bring banking and financial services to all districts in the East and West Sepik provinces. The digital financial services consultant, Benjamin Gawick, confirmed that they completed their programs in 10 districts altogether, 6 districts of the East Sepik province and 4 of the West Sepik province. The Mama Bank provides services such as deposits, withdrawals, loan, and training on business and marketing. Susenasa, a vanilla farmer, says it was not safe for them to keep their money in the house, but with these Mama banking services, they can now keep their money safe.
So now, Mama Bank mi come mi plugata mi plan mas because mi plug work lo market or mi plug lo vanilla or nara plug project mi plexim money, me blo put him lo here because me in no safe lo me blo holding.
Dagwa Health Center is one of the sites among the 7 sites that were installed with solar power system. The nursing in charge is confident that they will provide the service 24 hours a day with the solar power that was installed.
Some of the equipment that we will be using, like nebulizer for the acute asthmatic patients. We have a lot of acute asthmatic patients around. When they come, we need power. We need power to help them through. And vacuum to pull out the babies if the mothers are unable to deliver, because we have midwives here. This is level 3 health center. And also we need some of the medical equipment through using power. So we would like the installation and the official opening to be installed as soon as possible so that we can access to save cost for the people here, to prevent them from traveling all the way to the hospital if we are unable to provide these services here. We can provide these services using this solar energy.
In terms of value chain, EU Straight PNG is supporting all the work from processing to production, transportation, and marketing to uplift the farmers' standard of living in the remote areas.
We go for a quick break and return with more on the EU Straight PNG program on the other side. Stay tuned. You're watching A Closer Look. Despite the benefits of this EU Straight PNG program in the remote areas of East and West Sepik provinces, proper roads and transportation is still a challenge the farmers continue to face.
Despite the support that EU Straight PNG is providing, more needs to be done as most of the people at Lumi, Nuku and Aitape are residing in the remote areas. These people have to walk for hours to reach the Sepik Highway, and yet the Sepik Highway is not up to the standard where you will easily see vehicles traveling. A cocoa farmer, Thomas Matne from Lumi, says for them to travel to Wewak, it is quite a distance and it is hard for them to transport their cash crops. He also mentioned that cocoa pod borer infestation is a big issue for them.
Team straight now, Kimibla most support lik before Lucy Mibla nago. So one thing is similar like him long now, straight Elmibla Namla at this road. Road is very important to us. We need to road now because we have protection.
A former lecturer at the Woodall University, who is now a farmer at Aitape, stated that with the support from EU Straight PNG, he wants to be a role model to other farmers as he knows how to grow and make money from cocoa. However, Mr. Maso says he faced a lot of challenges and social issue is a great challenge. He also mentioned that road condition, weather and cocoa pod borer infestation are other challenges that he faced when trying to utilize the support that is provided by the Straight program.
Just to me, pest and disease are great challenges to me too. Yes. Especially with cocoa, like cocoa pod borer, yes, as I've stated earlier. Cocoa pod borer is here to stay. It is a test to our belief in cocoa to at least improve our management. Okay. Other challenges like the road, it's okay, but it's not that it's condition that I can move effectively, because I need to get more materials like from Wewak in, but I cannot make it because of the road condition. A lot of rascalism activities along the highway that really affecting the people traveling in to and from Wewak Aitape road. To Vanimo, it's not possible because of the accessibility is not good.
A fish farmer at Lumi district of West Sepik, who walked for hours to reach the Sepik Highway, says they have more than 400 ponds with thousands of fish, but they cannot take them to markets due to the bad road system.
About the distance, market, carry pot, packet. Some of the time, we come, we play, so walking money, some make it lost. So, road condition, I'm not right. Transport in a Sokopine, Mibla. Okay, all LBM was some black guy and looks our block up money in Saurich Tomas.
A spokesman of Wulukum village of Yankok LLG of Nuku district stressed that no proper road and lack of security along the Sepik highway has caused a lot of killings and hold-ups on the road when traveling from Wewak to West Sepik.
Available politicians, all no stratimol road plumibla. All no stratimol police patrol plumibla. Tesla make him, I mean, invite him to the kind of I'm hold up, now he bring big lo pagrab Islamic community plumibla. He bring big lo pagrab Islamic community plumibla. Suppose all politicians plumibla, he set up na put him kula road network. He put him kula security plumibla. Me no think people lo by travel na patients the problem. Now the problem already I mean including general public Islamic the problem. Lo sila issue road block. This I'm hold up here. MSI how many months is stabbing along 1 year? How many times is stabbing along 1 year na? Killings. So far, lo Yankok, even stabbing along Nugu, so far we will lose him 5 life finish lo this road. Driver lo road taso. 5 life we will lose him. Lo am hold up. Also 5 life is bullet na puran na die. Antab longem, ikat 4 life can blow high tepe. You lose him. Total of 9 lives blow Sundown. I travel is civic, lo keep revenue is civic. Na we losing 9 lives lo mibla. Where I will lo mibla now by go lo issue from Sir Gaman lo must come down and look through. Na address him slowly issue lo mibla. Either must tread him still road because still national highway. Still national highway. So all must put him good proper road. Stealing him must come up. Put him proper security must come up. So that they can avoid him kind of problem also.
The site engineer of International Labour Organization, Serulo Waranaka, says they are working on 18 roads, and these roads are sufficient for the next 2 to 3 years, and they hope that the provincial government can continue to maintain the roads in the years to come.
In some of the villages where we went further in Maprik, it's called town, I guess. Like, even though they are so near to Maprik, like an hour and a half away, the villages, when we told them that we're going to do the road, they started crying and they said, we know the government exists, but we haven't seen them in the last 40 years.
And that concludes our episode for this week on A Closer Look. Join us same time next week Sunday as we bring to you the Sego Nursery and Processing Pilot Project at Moim Village in the East Sepik Province by the Food and Agriculture Organization. Until then, thank you for watching and have a pleasant evening.